I'm making the decision today to embark on a new journey. It's not really new. It's not something that I'm just coming up with now. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to approach it. But today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to air everything out. You might have noticed some changes to the channel. One of the changes is that there's a rally car on the banner of the channel. There's also some stuff about racing and rally in the description of the channel. And that's because for the past, I want to say 2 months, 3 months maybe, I've been thinking about and sort of moving myself towards rally racing. I love racing. I love motorsports. I always have. I don't talk about it a lot because from a young age, I always kind of felt like it was something that was distant from me and something that was far away, something that was not feasible or something that was like unreasonable for me to move towards. But the thing about it is this: I have an uncle. This is like one of my core childhood memories. I have an uncle. His name is George Kent, and he raced in NASCAR in the modified series for a long time. It's like a bird flying outside of my, so bird like freaking out outside of my window. Okay, anyway, this uncle that I have raced in NASCAR for a long time. And he was very, very good. He was in the modified series. When I was a kid, I would watch him race. I would go with my mom and my dad, and I would go watch him race at the Watkins Glen racetrack in New York, Watkins Glen, New York. And those are some of my those are some of my earliest, most vivid, most positive childhood memories. And I used to talk to my uncle about hey, Uncle George, can I get into NASCAR driving someday? Like, how do I become a race car driver? And I was just a little kid at the time, so it's not like he gave me like a roadmap or something. And then eventually he retired, and that was because that was the end of his career, and so I stopped going to the races. But that planted a seed in me, and my entire life I used to watch NASCAR every Sunday with my dad when I was younger. And I used to be like in the motocross and everything. I was my whole life I have been so interested and so intrigued by racing and by motorsports. And as I got older, I had some I got my license, I started driving. I discovered also that I just love to drive cars. I love to be behind the wheel of a car. And I'm very, very, very good at driving. Don't ask me how I know that. It's not just my own perception. My friends tell me this too. My friends, I grew up in a rural area where there was literally nothing to do except for drive around all day long. And I've had my friends tell me multiple times that I am one of the best drivers that they've ever met. I am able to, I've gotten myself into some wild situations that I won't go into. And I've gotten myself out of them with driving skill. That's something, that far detached from actually getting behind the wheel of a race car, but it's enough of an indicator to me that maybe this is something that I'm supposed to do. And so I started reflecting on this. I'm a very spiritual person, I'm a very philosophical person, and I'm a very introspective person. And so I spent some time reflecting on this, and this is what I've realized. This is the conclusion that I have come to as a person. Everything in my life, every passion project that I have dove headfirst into, and everything that I have attempted to build in my life is, and always has been, an analog for racing. I don't know why. I don't know the inner deep mechanisms of why I love racing so much, or why I'm so passionate about it, or why it feels so good to me to do, or to at least try to do. But everything that I've done in my life, music, talking about spirituality, trying to, this crazy phase that I had where I was trying to get on the NBA G League team in Washington, D.C., the skateboarding, playing video games competitively. There was a period in my life where I was trying to get into Fortnite championships and trying to get to the top rank in Rocket League. And that sounds really silly, and it's not, it is kind of silly. But at the end of the day, like, the reason that I was doing all of these things is because each one of those things fulfills a tiny piece of what racing completely fulfills for me. All of these different emotions, the precision of, like, when it comes to making music, precision, performing under pressure, entering a flow state. When it comes to playing video games competitively, competition, becoming masterful at something, repetition, learning skills through repetition. When it comes to spirituality, harnessing the power of the mind, being aware and in the present moment. When it came to like basketball, when I was trying to like get into the G League, that was an analog for what racing does for me, which is like identity and achievement, fulfillment, recognition. So all of these things that I've done in my life have been an analog for this one thing that I really wanted to do, that I actually wanted to do, but it seemed so ridiculous, somehow more ridiculous than trying out for the NBA G League. It seemed so ridiculous and out of reach and impossible. I doubted myself for a long time. Then I never pursued it. And I was left with this void. I was left with an empty space inside of me that I tried to fill with these other analogous activities and pursuits. And it's not that I don't enjoy these other things, because I do. I love to make music. I'm a very spiritual person and philosophical person and introspective person naturally. I like to play video games competitively with my friends. I like playing Fortnite and Call of Duty and Rocket League and whatever, just because it's fun. And it's nice to have like a competitive, something like competitive to do. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I have discovered, now that I've actually gone down this path a little bit, and I will talk about that more later, the one thing that I am truly, utterly passionate about is racing. I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I don't know, I don't think it needs an explanation, but I have a sim rig set up now. I have a racing sim set up. And I have gotten some good simulators, right? I have a force feedback wheel that responds as if it's a real drive. Like, you know what it is if you're into sim racing at all. I have a force feedback wheel, and I have a little sim rig setup that I got for really cheap, and it's not much. But when I get into that, it's enough to suck me in. And it's not just the game. I want to do it in real life. I feel as though I will not be satisfied unless I have done everything that I can to get behind the wheel of an actual race car and compete against people who are incredibly skilled at driving race cars. I will not be satisfied until I complete that. Until I either die or I complete that goal. I have come to that conclusion after 2 months of sitting in this sim rig setup and pursuing this and learning how to. I use Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is like the most robust, most detailed physics and racing simulation that is available anywhere. It literally feels, I don't even have that advanced of a setup, and it feels just like driving a car. It's challenging, and I mess up a lot, but it feels just like driving a real car. And I swear to God, I could drive for hours. And it's just, I will never get tired of it. And now I have this urge to not only drive cars, but to also work on them. I want to build a race car. Now, racing is overall a pretty challenging thing to get into. It's not an easy task. So the one discipline of racing that really calls out to me, because it seems as though it might have the lowest entry to, like barrier to entry, is rally racing. And also, I'm extremely intrigued by rally racing because it's totally different from every other form of racing. If you don't know what rally racing is, it's a race that is consists of a series of stages where you go from point A to point B. It's not a circuit. There's not laps. You literally go from one point to another, and you just try to get from point A to point B as fast as you possibly can down a dedicated course. It's usually a public road that's been closed off for the duration of the race, obviously. And that is just extremely intriguing to me for multiple reasons. First of all, it's a great place to learn because you're not driving on the road with other cars. So it's low, like relatively, like financially, I want to say it's like low risk. The other thing is that rally has like the most robust grassroots community. It's like the easiest for a casual person to get into. So it would be easier for me to find like rallycross competition than it would be for me to find like some sort of like, find my way into like GT or something like that, at least initially. But I have high hopes. I have high dreams. So, and the other thing is that the financial barrier to entry is very small as well. I don't need a very expensive car that is souped up and has all these crazy modifications done to it. I can buy like a 2000 or a 97 Subaru Impreza, slap a suspension on it, do some tweaks to the engine, have somebody put a roll cage in it, and then call it good. I've seen rally car builds that are less than $5,000. That's an extremely low barrier to entry financially, and that's good for me because I'm fucking broke. So, a low barrier to entry financially is another reason that rally really intrigues me and calls out to me. So, all of that to say, this is the beginning of a new journey. Within the next year, I am going to compete in my first rally or rallycross event. Within 2 years or 3 years, I want to be competing in some sort of either amateur or like pro-am series. And within 5 years, I want to be racing either rally or some other discipline of racing, whatever. I can't predict the future, but within 5 years, I want to be racing at a professional level. Now, for the record, I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any actual driving experience. I just have like 100 hours in sim racing. And I don't have any money right now. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that deter me. I'm going to make this happen. Because this is the one thing in my life so far that has not been shaken or taken away from me, as far as what I'm passionate about, what I love, and what I want to do. I've never been more certain that this is the direction that I want to go in my life. And I'm putting this here because I feel as though that this fits very well with the message that this channel used to provide, which is that anything that you set your mind to, you can do. You are as free as a person as you allow yourself to be. Regardless of external circumstances, the amount of freedom which you enjoy depends entirely upon the limitations that you impose on yourself. And I want to prove that today with this video and with all videos moving forward. So that's the beginning of the journey. More to come. This is just an update. Much love. I will see you in the next video.